these structures, whether they've done that. We can't tear down walls, we can't see, look at the electrical, so we have to make the assumption if somebody comes in with them, that either they are or not up to code. And that makes it super hard for us to determine as a staff, because we would ask these people to tear down their inside of their walls. So that makes it hard. So whenever we start asking questions, and the permit clerk or Crystal are helpful in the sense that they're asking the question even before they're issued an application, or when they're issued an application, we're asking, give us the information on the structure. Let us know what it is that you're bringing in or what you want to bring in, and then we can give you an answer as to how, we can do this. As the council knows, we've been doing permits for lots, individual lots, on a conditional use permit basis for manufactured homes. We've been doing that. That's been happening the past years, several years. What I want to point out is when you have a subdivision, I'm going to call it what it is, a subdivision, somebody that's coming in with 8 or 9 different tracts of land, and they want to build, they don't know what they want to do, or they may know, they want to tract the land out. The implication is those folks that are going to live in these different parcels, if you will, there has to be services to them. There has to be water, there has to be sewer. If there is septic systems, we have to know where those are located. You have to know if you're gonna provide a road. I'll give you an example. The example that I give is the road that we took, which was right here, Vinton Street, where the clinic is at. They gave us a plat that told us this is gonna be the dimensions of the road, this is where our water lines are at, this is where our sewer lines are at, this is where all the infrastructure is at. May give us the opportunity to say yes, as a council, to approve subdivision. Now, again, we have been historically approving by lots and saying, we're gonna allow people, they have a survey, we're gonna allow for this to be on the lot. What we're getting at is to a point where I am not certain and confident that what we've been doing is gonna continue to work, simply because you have people that are tracking land out, and it's becoming to where, you can just imagine sharing an easement, a 20-foot easement, with 7 or 8 other people. The question then becomes, that easement, who's gonna maintain it? Who's gonna take care of it? Who's gonna service it once a water line goes down? Those are all questions that in my opinion, that need to be asked. Now, I'm not gonna get into a debate with that. The other thing that I wanted to point out, again, with some of these regulations, and just to consider, and what I think Crystal pointed out and put out in your packet, can you put up there, Crystal, what sheets so the public can see? When we did this study, and this was actually, quite frankly, I missed this as part of the study. I missed this part of it, but I think it's really important that the council sees this. And I'm talking the comprehensive study. And I think the public will be able to see what you're seeing. With the exception of,
I don't think it's on this computer.
it's not gonna show.
No, I don't think it's on this computer.
It's in your packet, but what you'll find, council, is we show that there's 515 units, mobile and manufactured units. You have, and this is throughout the city, okay? Now, this right here, this pie chart tells you the condition of different structures, whether they're stick-built, whether they're manufactured homes, whatever they are. This tells you how many are occupied, this tells you how many vacant. So when I go down here and we look at this, and I'll see this has the, when you look at this, you can see anything in red is considered dilapidated. And I know it's small, but you find dilapidated structures on, and I'll say it because this is what the data's showing. You see a lot of dilapidated structures. We know this on the west side. You see that a lot of them show a triangle, which the triangle on this represents that they're manufactured homes or RVs. Excuse me, manufactured homes. So if you look at every little triangle, and what the consultant did is they traveled all of Pearsall, and they did all this work. So this is not us making it up. This is somebody that actually went out, looked at it, looked at everything in the condition. What we found, and what you'll see in your packet, is that a lot of the manufactured homes that are here, I'd say at least, was it a quarter of them, Crystal?
It is about a
The packet shows that, I wanna say, at least a quarter of them are vacant.
correct.
Meaning there's nobody living there. So,
Order of the manufacturer are vacant.
yes, sir. So, that part of it again, and same thing with, let's say, again, with them being vacant, dilapidated. So when you start running into those issues, nobody's living in those, so what happens to vacant homes? I guess you guys would know, we can only assume what's happened, right? But a lot of times we hear the vacant properties, there's people, drugs, there's infestation. I'm not saying that every vacant mobile home is like that, I'm not saying that, but that's what we hear when, when we speak to police department, maybe they're probably more qualified to answer that than I am. But that's what you find, but it's in your packet, the data's there that supports some sort of, in my opinion, restrictions, regulations as it relates to where these things should be placed. As they alluded to, as what's been alluded to, you Chaparral and Roosevelt, there's been several mobile homes that are out there. That have been put out there over the past couple of years. You've seen some on the west side. You'll see here on the east side, and you can see it here on your own, there's very few that, if you look at all the green, those are still standard, and you won't see very many triangles, and you can come look at this if you want. But you don't see a lot of mobile homes there, and you still see some houses that are still in standard condition. We have, as you can see, we have a lot of work to do on the west side, we do, with properties that are in red, and you'll find some up here on the north going out to, this right here is this power plant. You have power plant road right here, and you can see a lot of the red right here, red here. So you see power plant and Oak, and so you see them right here on the north going like heading to San Antonio, Business 35. Anyway, there's some out here as well, but again, this is data that's been gathered, the council has this information, and again, just to give you a kind of an illustration of what we're dealing with, we know this is not gonna, some of this stuff as far as cleaning up and getting it to a certain standard is not gonna happen overnight, but there needs to be some improvements on our end as help clean up, right? As far as demolition, doing cleaning up some of the properties, but we are also asking for some reasonable regulation as it relates to manufactured homes, mobile homes.
And just some numbers, council, your stick-built homes, 7% vacant, and your mobile homes in our city, 35% vacant. Of the 515, 35% vacant.
So this is very, Fred, this is a data, this is exactly what we have to take out to the public and educate the public, let them know this is the process, this is what's in place, but to also do our end of it, to see what process does the city have in place to track this. Because what we're seeing in phone calls that we've been receiving is fact that, hey, there's no follow through. There is no process actual in place that you can show me that I've spoken to so-and-so and delivered this actual documentation or this checklist, should be per se, that has to be followed. And I think, there's miscommunication.
Yes.
So it's great that we're gonna take this out into the public, because this is where we have to, this is what's in place. These are ordinances, and this is what has to be followed, but this is your checklist. This is the education part that has to be thrown out to the public once and for all.
Yes.
Mayor,
Piggyback on that?
Mayor, if I may,
Yeah, Councilman Leal?
Crystal, you provide a checklist?
Correct. We
Okay.
do for residential submittal for stick builds, we have commercial submittal requirements, as well as for manufactured homes, and they go out with every application.
Thank you. Fred, as I spoke with Fred earlier in the week, and I told Fred my opinion, and I also told Fred that I think it'd be a great idea that anytime anyone comes in and asks for a permit, or is requesting a permit, or wants the input of the city, that he has someone in there with him, and someone's taking notes. Apart from taking notes, also maybe, recording it, the way we do a meeting.
We can-
That
we
way-
have time.
That way, in case someone does come back and say, he said, she said, we said, it's all documented, and there's no finger pointing any direction. And if someone by any chance forgets what they said, we have it documented.
Yes.
If possible, I would also like to recommend, or if we could, set out, kind of like when you go to different places, there's flyers out,
Yes.
have pamphlets, mobile home permit, RV permit, conditional use permit, whatever it is, and just have a pamphlet educating us, the public, what needs to be done, have a checklist in there. I know it's gonna be time consuming, I know it's gonna be costly to get these pamphlets, but I think it will actually iron out a lot of issues that we're having right now. I think it would be a great idea, that we have that out there, and we just have those flyers, and that way people can, you know, they come in, we wanna know what, you know, how do we get a permit? Well, it's right there, the ordinance is also attached, and if you have any further questions, you know, these other people you could get a hold of. Because we have, I mean, we hear it all the time, council members, we hear it at the city level, the school level, the hospital, the county, we all hear it. Why isn't Pearsall like Hondo? Why isn't Pearsall like Divine? Why isn't Pearsall like Pleasanton? When we drive around those cities, you don't see a lot of stuff there allowed like we allow here in Pearsall. So we have to find a way to get to that point, but also make it understandable to the community what our goals are. Go ahead, sir.
I had also spoken to some of the, I know I spoke to the city manager and I did speak to the mayor. That, to have a town hall meeting on this. And, you know, it's very important, it's very important to do this because this way these people can come to these meetings if it's very important to them or that they need, you know, to be educated on it. And we can provide, you know, what is needed for this to avoid, you know, the calls, to avoid all this stuff. You know, them talking down on us, then putting everything out there on social media and stuff. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that they have to go through the zoning department first before they come to us. Once it goes to the zoning department and everything is on the checklist and they approve everything, then it comes to us.
Right.
And these people don't understand these things, and they need to know that. I mean, they need to understand that there's, you know, a process for it.
Right.
I have another suggestion, something that, Mr. Leal said, is not only pamphlets, but using our HR, putting it on the website, putting it on the bill, creating its own page, so that these people are educated before they go spend that money. Because it seems here, yes, miscommunication, like Mr. Trevino said, but are we being transparent with one and the other? I don't think we are. So I think once we do go through these policies and procedures, that we do put that out there, and that everybody has an equal playing ground when purchasing something to put on their property or city property, whatever the property is.
So aren't the ordinances online?
Correct, we have a code of ordinances online, you literally just, you
Click
can
on it.
click in
But does
mobile home,
everybody know that?
manufactured home.
That's the thing, are we getting that out?
Whenever we codified it, it was publicized pretty much, and it is right there, you click on government, and it's big bold letters, code of ordinances, it's really user friendly. You can even convert it into any language you want. English, Spanish, Taiwanese, anything, it has
I
everything.
think what you're getting at, maybe I'm wrong, is what you're getting at is just give me a summary of what I need, as
Yes,
opposed
how
to.
many people are gonna
Yeah,
understand
I
this?
don't have, I think
Yeah.
that they're not gonna, you know, I don't anticipate folks reading through all.
No.
I read through every night, but that's just me. No, but no, in all sincerity, that's something we can see where we can do better at. You know, and on our end, we, as a public, we can't do this alone. I mean, we need the, I mean, on that end, if there's a question, as hard as it may be to come in here, come and ask. We may not have the answer they may want, but, yeah.
Well, citizens, thank you guys
Mayor.
very much. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Reyes had asked me to pull a couple of numbers regarding, stick-built versus, manufactured home.
One last thing.
So, he asked me to pull from May of 2021 to May of 2023. So, since then, I've had 11 stick-built plan reviews that have been approved. Of those 11, I have 3 stick-built homes that are still being under construction. The rest of them have been completed. Miss Tiffany is actually one of them that went through our stick-built process with Miss Oni Hall.
2021 through what?
May 2021 through May of 2023.
Okay.
Mhm.
2 years.
Yes, three stick-built being, constructed still. And I still have 1 stick-built application that is pending. He is, gathering the required documents. And then in addition to that, 19 mobile homes have been approved through the council. I have 3 on the agenda tonight for approval. I have 1 pending public hearing details also for tonight. And last night, I also have 2 applications that were submitted. One of them is Ms. Petra Ayala, as well as a, Crawley, which is another individual that they sold the property to. That's pending this the requirements. And then also, in addition to that, I also handed out 4 conditional use permit applications just last week. And then I also had one individual that came in this morning. Luckily, we were able to get the information covered. It's from Stormore. I gave you those plans in November. Same thing, it's a shed. And the retailer took their deposit. Thank God we were able to get the information today, and I told him this does not work. As of November 2022, the council motioned to not approve these, so he was able to get his deposit. If not, if he had come with that information tomorrow, he would have been stuck with it. So,
Mayor, council, we'd like to come back to the city attorney's review and stuff. Again, on this manufactured home is make modifications to the ordinance as it relates to manufactured home, or zoning as our proposal. So that's what, you'll be seeing that hopefully in the next few weeks to address some of these issues as it relates to. What I put over there, council, so you get a chance, there's the zoning map, there's a zoning map there, the existing zoning ordinance, the existing zoning map, and so what we're gonna utilize if we can is the zoning to find a way to regulate, put some additional regulations for manufacturing.
And so citizens, please know that we take this serious and that we want to do things that make it best possible for everybody involved. And so note that the compassion that our council has to try to get the word out there so we know which way to go, that you know which way to go with the least amount of expense out of your pocket before we get started. So thank you, council, thank you for that dialogue, and thank you for working with that. Fred, city manager, and city attorney will work on getting some stuff ready, and citizens will have a workshop very soon. All right, moving on to item 6D, City of Pearsall Budget Calendar. Fred?
Mayor, I can wait on this, if we can get nine, can we do some action items on?
Okay, all
We have
right.
a public hearing.
9H and
We want to move down to last,
9H and J, I think we have some folks that are one's driving from out of town and
Okay,
some other.
city council, I'm gonna ask for a motion to move, these are in new business on your page 3, item 9H and 9J. Move it to this place in the agenda right now. I need a motion in a second. Motion by Councilwoman Hernandez, second. Second by Councilwoman Trevino. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Motion passed unanimously. All right, we're gonna go into new business. We've got item 9H, discuss and approve resolution number 2023-0601, approving a contract with Garcia and Wright Consulting Engineers for the engineering service regarding the Texas Community Development Block Grant, administered by the Texas Department of Agriculture. City manager?
Yes, Mayor and Council, in your packet, you have a contract from Garcia, right? Actually, Mr. Garcia is here to take any questions you may have. But this is in regard to CDBG grant the city was approved. We found out earlier this year for a project out at the wastewater treatment plant. It'll be a bar screen. Hector loves to talk about bar screens. And it'll be a benefit to the city. If authorized, Mr. Garcia will be working on the design for that bar screen. And so we'd like to get this approved tonight and like to move forward.
Hey, I'd like to make a motion to,
Okay, there's a motion on the table to approve resolution number 2023-0601 by Councilman Leal. There's a second. Second by Councilwoman Hernandez. Is there any questions? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Say aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, moving on to item 9J, discuss and consider a request from the Pearsall Rotary Club for waiver of fees for the use of the Pearsall Convention and Civic Center on October 2nd, 3rd, 4th for the annual Rotary Auction. This is an action item. I'm gonna call for a motion in a second. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Trevino, second, Councilwoman Talamontes. At this point, I'll turn it over to the city manager, or we have some representatives from the Rotary Club here, of which our city manager is a member, but ladies, gentlemen, please come forward and tell us what you got.
Hi, good evening. My name is Deborah Garza. I'm this year's Rotary President. I'm joined by Katie Roberts and Melinda and Scott. We are representing Pearsall Rotary Club. We're here to actually request a donation from the use of the Civic Center, interior and exterior, on October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th to host our annual 2024 scholarship auction. In past years, the council has helped provide the venue for the event and played a huge role in the success. that we've had as an organization. Because of your support over the past 2 years, we've awarded local seniors over $14,000 in scholarships, bringing our total to over $275,000 in contributions since 1970. This year's auction will host a live audience with a silent auction component, with our final day offering a meal service purchase. We're excited about the new opportunities and hope you will continue to support the new visions that we have for our organization. All funds raised will be used to help continue and support our local high school seniors